I'm terrible for that. I write it down, so I record it, and then I forget. So yeah, so the
Yeah.
idea, obviously, once you've got the technique sorted, it is to then work on the cueing. So
Yes.
again, there's lots of little tricks with that. You know, like we talked about before, with the names of the students, so that if you're in order to stop them starting before you're ready, don't give their name until the end, but you can build that
Yes.
into the prompt. So how often do you go online to look at your email? How often do you go online to look at your email, Francesco? I go online. So at that point, they know.
Right.
So they're paying attention, and then they know
Yes.
when they hear their name that the prompt is coming.
Right. Yeah. Well, I believe I've done that very well.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think you did do that
Yes.
very well, certainly. But
Uh,
it's just another example of what you can do in order to train them into responding to
yes.
when you want them to. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anything else you noticed?
Um, no, I don't know specifically. If I can continue thinking about it, I might remember something, but not specifically right now.
Yeah, it's good when you watch these videos to note things down, because you always think that you're
Yeah.
going to remember them afterwards, and
Yeah.
so many things go on that it's really difficult to remember very specific things. So when I review videos, I like to write down the minute that the thing that I'm
Okay.
interested in happened, or
Yes.
to the nearest time, the nearest relevant time, and then what it is. Because
I'm sorry, where do you write things down?
so I
Do
just
you
grab a
prefer
piece of
paper
paper.
or?
I grab a piece of paper. I'm going to put something on the website at some point for reviewing videos, because there's like a standard layout that you can use, like a
Yeah.
time, then the page that the teacher was teaching,
Right.
the head word, and then the comment.
Okay.
So there's like 3 or 4 main things that you want to watch out for. Obviously, ask the
Yeah.
question twice, prompt and feed, correction by imitation. Whether you're leading the student is where you indicate to the student that, that they've got to answer before you've given them the prompt.
Right.
So that's when you get this situation that the student is ahead of you. That's called leading the student.
Yeah.
So you want to avoid that. So there's a few things to watch out for. So, like I say, take a piece of paper, write down, keep a note of the time,
Yes.
pause it, make a note of the time, what page they're on, which book, which lesson, or whatever, so you can find it, and
Yeah.
then the note. Did they answer the question twice? Did they shout at the student? So shouting as a student is like when you don't do proper correction by imitation. So if they make a
Okay.
mistake and they say, "You're
Oh,
going
yes.
to the door," you say, "Door." So that shouting is not
Yes.
door. Yeah. So that's a
Yeah.
very
Well, we talked about this.
normal thing. It's normal. You can't avoid it all the time. Just but
Of course.
it's something to keep in mind. So also they're like catchwords. People get caught up, or teachers get caught up with catchwords like excellent, well done, perfect, all of
Yes.
those things. So I think perfect is your one. Mine is
Yes.
excellent. Yeah. So the idea is not to do those, like we talked about
Right.
before. If you can avoid doing those, it's better, because if you just go on to the next question, the student knows that they got it right. If you didn't correct
Yeah.
anything, and every one of those interrupts the flow. So the mental process flows from question to answer, and so on. And if you drop in words like perfect, the student hears that word and thinks about that word. So the
Okay.
idea is to try to avoid saying those words and just carry on.
Yes.
A lot easier to say than to do, but that's the
Of
idea
course.
of it.
But yes, I remember, I think her name was Norma. There was one question where she struggled a lot with the answer. So once she finished with the answer, it did say perfect, and he did it on purpose. Uh, and also because I feel it's natural to say it, if I do say it, I'll try to say it at the end of the section and head to the next headline. Uh, but yes, I still have to uh, say it less
Yeah,
than I
some
do.
some some teachers think it's a good idea to reward the student with
Mhm.
a comment like that. Very good, excellent, good job, those kind of things. It's something that if you're a good teacher with this method, you should avoid doing. It doesn't help the
Perfect.
student to know. At the end of the lesson, you can say, right, okay, so we'll we'll close the lesson now, but good job, Norma. You answered those questions really well today. And
Okay.
you can leave it till the end when you're summing up. But
Yeah.
as you go along, it just interrupts the flow. So the more you can get it to flow, the more the students will enter that zone, and the more things will go
Mhm.
straight in. As I say, if you don't say anything and just go on to the next question, they know the answer's right. So they don't need to be told that it's right. They know it's right because there
Yeah.
was no correction. Yeah.
Okay.
So also to engage with the students, obviously using their names is good. One other thing to kind of note down or to put in the back of your mind for later
Okay.
is, and it's something that you pick up as you go along, is if sometimes the questions are open-ended, and the
Yes.
student supplies an answer. For example, what did you do at the weekend? At the weekend, I went to the cinema. Though those kind of things you remember. Later on, there might be another question where you can slip that in there.
Okay.
So what's your favorite film? Well, we'll ask Norma because she went to the cinema this weekend. Norma, what's your favorite film? What film did you see at the
Okay.
weekend? So to associate questions with
Hmm.
answers that students gave previously,
Yes.
it's like another level above that. It's difficult to do when you're starting out. So I wouldn't recommend
Yes.
trying to do it. It's something that will naturally happen because you
Right.
have to be so in control of everything and so
Yes.
automated in the way that you're doing things that the things go in and you remember them. So
Right. Well,
it
yes.
takes a long time
Uh,
to get to that stage where everything is automatic for you as a teacher. But that's a good way of kind of linking things
yes.
together and engaging, as you say.
Yeah, I like to watch stand-up comedy, and they
Mm-hmm.
do that a lot.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly. So
yes.
yeah,
There's specifically one I watch where he, like the whole show, is asking people for fun facts, and then he comments on them. And once he hears a similar one half an hour into the show, he goes back to the other one and adds a punchline for both jokes.
yes.
And
Who's that?
yes,
Which
I believe
comedian is
that's
that?
impressive. I believe that's Luciano Mecheda. I will have to check because I might be giving you the wrong name.
Okay, well, send it to me afterwards because I like comedy. Um, I tend to prefer
Okay.
obviously British or American comedy, to, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Those kind of stories are quite good. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a
Okay.
skill to
Uh,
use. So there's lots of connections with what we do to performing arts like acting or even stand-up comedy, as you pointed out.
mm, no, but I believe I have at least the base to that skill that
Mm-hmm.
I've gathered by being a waiter because we have the same. Uh, I work at a cafe, and the cafe specifically has a lot of uh, I don't remember, habitués,
Yeah, it's regular customers.
or a lot of people who come to study.
Yeah. Oh, we've lost your
Exactly, regular
connection. Yeah.
customer. I would, oh,
Yeah, your connection is cutting up again.
oh no. Um, well, hello.
Yeah, you're there, but the
Okay,
connection is not very smooth.
I switched to Wi-Fi. I believe it should be better.
Okay, oh, we'll see. We'll see.
Yes, well, with the recurrent customers, the cafe, they would come in and I would already know what they would order. So, for example, if Tommy comes in, oh, he's getting a flat white with this alfajor.
And
And
they like that special treatment, right?
yes,
And
yes, they do.
that's exactly the kind of thing. So for example, Norma's got two boys. One is 17, I think one is 23. So,
Right.
those kind of things you can build in later on, so when you're asking questions about family and children, you can remember that. You've got to be careful because it's very easy to say something offensive without realizing it.
Yes,
So you have to be careful when you do that kind of thing. You have to be really confident in what you're
right.
saying. Also, the other thing to bear in mind is that you're quite young. You're very young.
Yes,
I'm an old bloke, so I can get away with a lot of those things because, by age they automatically have respect for me. By age they
right.
don't automatically have respect for you because unfortunately you're the same age as their children.
Yes, exactly.
So it can come across as being a little bit rude sometimes if you say the things that I say, then it might
Yes,
get you into trouble. So you have to be a little bit empathetic, a little bit. You have to
yes.
work out the dynamic that's there, and don't
Mhm.
just copy what I do because you'll get in trouble. Because
Okay.
I'm the
No,
director
of
of the
course.
school as well, so I've already got a little bit of a inbuilt
Higher
advantage
rank.
in that sense.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And not higher rank, but it's a different somebody
Yes.
taking the piss out of you if they're at the same level as you, or somebody taking the piss out of you
Yes.
and they look like your son or your grandson in some cases. So you got
Right.
to be careful. So not all comedy is
Yes.
good comedy.
And are there a lot of students, for example, in their earlier 20s, or most of them are
Yeah,
older?
there are a few in their 20s, quite a few in their 30s, because most of our students are professionals. So we
Okay.
and quite a lot of senior professionals as well. So 40s and 50s, we have um, like enologists, and there's a head of the wineries at one of the
Right.
bodegas comes to us. Uh, yeah, we've got a few directors of software companies as well. So they're software companies are a bit more relaxed anyway, but there are
Yes.
a few people occasionally that are kind of middle management, and they don't like to be. They have a high opinion of themselves, if you see what I mean. They
Okay.
take themselves very seriously, which is fine. So you have to be
Yes.
careful not to joke too much with
No,
people
but
that are quite serious like that. Mm-hmm.
not specifically about comedy. I was asking for demographics
Ah,
to
right. Okay.
understand.
Yeah. There's quite a few. Yeah, it's quite a wide range. We don't take children as
Yes.
students. Yeah, we have had one or two students as kind of an exception, but
Right.
generally, I would say probably the majority of students are 30 or above. 30
Okay.
years old or
Perfect.
above. Yeah.
Yes. And I was gonna ask something else. Yes, the groups, like the course groups, how are they made? Like,
Well, all the students in the groups are more or less the same level of English.
yes,
So a lot of the students have gone through all the stages to get where they are. So if they're in stage 5, they've done 1, 2, 3, and 4 to get there.
yeah,
On our website, there is a test your English option, which
okay,
if you get 5 minutes, have a look at that and see how far you get with that. Because the first few questions are easy enough. The ones at the high levels are challenging even for native speakers. So they do
yes.
that, and we get a report for everybody that does the test. They get sent
Even
an
if they're not,
email, even if they're not
even if they're
students.
not part, exactly, okay,
Yeah. So it's a free test. So you just go to the website, click on the button, answer the questions, and it sends you an email with a little report. Okay. We get the other side of that. So we have a list of all the people that have done the test, and we can
yes,
see what level they've got. So afterwards, when they come to us and say, I'm interested in this course, we have a look and say, oh, you scored stage 3 on the test. So
okay,
you should be looking for a stage 3 or stage 4 course. So we try to group
right,
the students together with the same level. We don't put
mhm.
experts and beginners together,
No,
except
of course,
in extreme circumstances, like a husband and wife can only study
okay,
together. That's all they want. So there's a difference between the two, but they don't mind. They want to work
okay,
together. But it'll always be at the lowest level for the couple. So
yes,
it's not they can't go up, obviously, because the
yes,
weaker
they wouldn't understand,
wouldn't understand. Yeah. So
perfect,
generally, and the grouping works pretty well. So
yes,
the after they take the test, it does end up being pretty close to the level. Occasionally, you get somebody that can answer more questions than they're able to do in the lesson, and they get an
right,
exaggerated score. But generally, it's pretty much at that level. Also, what I do is
okay,
from time to time is I do a demo lesson, and I've got one tomorrow, which would be interesting for you to come along to as an observer if
okay,
you're interested in that. I've only got one person signed up for tomorrow, but normally I have 3 or 4 people. And I just do a quick demonstration of the method and talk about the way that we work. And then if the people in that demo lesson have varying levels of English, I give them a little test, which is the same test as online, but
okay,
face to face. Yeah.
right, perfect, okay,
Okay.
I believe I might be joining because I also want to understand what's the experience for the student,
Okay.
especially when they're starting up with spoken English.
Okay. Yeah. No problem with that. I'll send you the link. Or you can register for it if you go onto the website. Clase Gratis at the top. Just register,
Yeah,
and Michael Mouse is a good name to register under. So
okay.
any name you like, you put that on
Right,
there.
perfect.
Okay. We're running out of time on Zoom, so what I'd like to do is do another little bit of practice. Now that I've
Okay.
got you. So if we come out and come back in Zoom 2,
Yeah,
yeah, I'll need to take a little break in the meantime for about a couple of minutes, and then I'll come back in again. Okay.
okay.
So 2-minute break, and then in Zoom 2, if that's all right.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay. See you in a moment.